Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Breakfast with Brokers. On behalf of Erin and Tom, we want to welcome you guys back to our third episode. This episode, we are tackling social media, which has become our second full-time job as realtors.
Third for me.
Third. Right. Yeah. So I think we're just going to jump right in and just kind of talk about like, this is the landscape now. Like agents have to literally be content creators to stay above. It used to be, you used to have to do this, you have to do that. We have to be on social media. We have to be doing it correctly. We have to be doing the next big thing. We have to come up with these custom campaigns and all this stuff. And for me, my background's in marketing. I love it. But it's very overwhelming for new agents that come into the business. And I think that's why I want to shift to you. I know this was something that you're doing great. Like you are so creative with some of the stuff that you do, but I know it takes a lot for you to do it.
That's the thing. It's like I'll have an idea and it'll sit with me for 7 months and then I never do it. I had this great idea about Spring Awakening and I'll do it in 2026. But like I look at somebody like Tom who every day has a professional video out and I'm just like, geez, but then the other word that I hate that we're going to talk about, and forgive me, authentic, right? So that's not who I am, right? I mean, I'm professional. I'm professional. No, I'm saying he's so professional. I'm professional. Please, people out there, I can sell your home, but I like to be funny. Like I like to be goofy. And so like I did one randomly off the cuff at my mom's house, like that had something to do with synchronized swimming in her pool. And even my sister, who's like my harshest critic, texted me. She's like, oh my God, that was hysterical. I think it got like 11 views, but like I was so proud of that. But again, it's so much time and effort and thought and then doing it. And I'm not good at that. So like, I feel like I'm here, like you're always doing great things. And then Tom is like all the way over here with the professional video crew and makeup artists and everybody on staff.
I don't wear makeup, but
you don't?
No, this is all natural,
this
baby.
Looks really
this
good.
Is natural.
What do you use?
What's the baby?
So yeah, you are like, I
is...
think my favorite thing you ever did though was following your son around at an open house.
Yeah,
like that needs to be brought back.
When they were little, it was easy.
It was so good. And
my daughter would be a star because she's a complete nut job now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that, like those, I love those. And I think people do it, people that do it, they have their little thing and I need to find my thing. And we have to have our business meeting, but I'm sure that will be one of the bullet points that's what I want to focus on next year. To try and do it more.
And to your point, I think people do get like in their own head and they do make it whatever, but just doing it, like
just do it.
Storing, getting here. This was like everything you're doing adds to the authenticity. And like, we do have interesting days. Like most people, we all know we did corporate or teaching. We do go into like beautiful homes, incredible things happen. Like I remember one of the biggest stories I ever got was I have a client that's looking at very old homes in like Essex County, like Summit area. And for some reason, there's all these like random toilets in the basement. So every time I go, I'm like, another random toilet. And people, I can't tell you how many comments I get. People are like, oh my God, what is going on? I was like, it was a thing in the 20s apparently where they just threw a shitter downstairs. Like, I don't understand. No walls around it, just
an open toilet. But that got like so many views. You just did the thing where you tagged the woman, the perimenopause.
Oh my gosh, menopause. Yeah. That pays the bills apparently. So yeah, I dressed up for Halloween as this content creator and because I had no thoughts and it was easy and I posted it and she reposted it and by the next morning I had 22,000 views.
Okay, so but
I don't know how to do anything with that.
But this is a great active case study. How much prep did you do for that?
Literally 5 minutes.
22,000 views.
So I know.
It's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I always know.
And I mean, you know this better than anybody else. I mean, I feel like we're talking to the king here, but like
I'm far from the king.
The king. But I think like you really tackle social media in a really interesting way.
I think the thing about social media, right, is think about when we all started on social media. The big thing everybody wanted to see was, they love things that perform. Think about what performs well on your social media, right? Pictures of your kids, pictures of your vacations, right? Pictures of your actual life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, your life may be real estate, right? Which will perform well because that is your life, right? Authenticity is such a dead term, right? It's so overplayed. I get that.
So
but the truth is, people want to see the behind the scenes stuff, right? So the listing videos that I do are great, right? And they're great to market the properties, to position the property and get it out to eyes that otherwise wouldn't have ever seen the property. Yeah. Every listing that I take gets the photo package, obviously, right? Professional photos. but I also do a professional video. And I've shifted my approach to the videos from selling the home to selling the lifestyle of the area.
Yep.
Right? And that's a testament to watching people like Shannon Gillette, watching people like everybody at BAM, the Broke Agent Media, right? Which is a huge, for those of you not in the industry, right? It's a real estate specific, marketing and they're moving very much towards like a free coaching campaign, right? With the stuff that they put out. But I remember watching videos of people and I went, this makes a lot more sense, right? In terms of like what our buyers are looking for. When our buyers are shopping for homes, right? What are they looking for? They want the school systems. They want the big rooms. They want, the white picket fence, right? They want the quiet neighborhood. So we have to find a way to sell those points as to what our buyers are what buyers out there are actually looking for.
Or is it even selling, or it's just exemplifying?
Right. Shining the world's brightest spotlight on those things that people are looking for in a neighborhood.
I think one of the greatest things ever done, shout out to Matt Lionetti. I had a chance to meet him at something. I forget what thing we were at. But he did that video of the house. Like, I'll cry talking about it from the house standpoint of like the family moving on and like all of the talk amongst yourselves.
Cow.
It is the most moving video ever. You have to look this up.
Someone selling her house and having feelings.
Oh my God. I am.
She's all up in her feelings.
It's all up in her
feelings. Then shifting, there was the guy in, I think it was Australia, and it was just the naked guy, and it's just his butt walking around the whole, the house, whatever. And then he gets a delivery, and the door opens, but it's all from, like, you're seeing the back of the guy.
Yeah.
And he's obviously very well put together, and he's just walking around this incredible house, and he's opening doors and getting deliveries, and you're seeing like the reactions to things. He puts like a drape over whatever his last night's stand was, and he walks around and then just walks out and jumps in his pool. And the tagline is 123 Main Street, so private you can walk around naked. And I was like, this is genius. Like, you can take it to such a cool level if you have like a full team that, like, I'm excited for that. Like, I think that happened like 15 years ago. And I think whatever that guy did, whoever produced that is probably doing like full feature films right now.
I once tried to do the, shirtless thing as we were just talking about, right?
We all saw that.
Right,
Tom's dipping his toe
it got a listen.
Fourth career coming
right. Listen, it got a lot of views.
Yes, it
right.
did.
It got a lot of views, and the important thing was tracking where the views, kind of what your demographic is, right? If you look on Instagram and you look at like kind of the insights, things like that, you can see the demographics of who's watching your stuff and things like that. Now, my lovely wife's family broke my balls relentlessly.
Well, I just want to know
the fact that, like, whose apartment did you make a goddamn porno in?
I just want to know when you're going to be in the calendar, the Hoboken firefighters
we don't
calendar.
Do those.
Well,
we did one years ago for a fundraiser, and we haven't done it.
I thought that was like your play.
That was my entry. Yeah, no, that was my entry video. No, that's not.
It was a good one.
But
shifting from Tom's nipples.
But the truth is, why did I do that? Right?
Yeah,
why did I do that? Right? And
while we're talking about it.
Yeah, while we're talking about it, right? What's the idea behind it, right? Everything needs to have some type of idea behind it. And the idea there was what I was marketing was a studio apartment, right? That, truth is, needs work, right? It needs renovations, everything else. So it was like, how can I sell the lifestyle, right? The lifestyle idea there was you're living in one of Hoboken's most desirable luxury buildings, right? And what conveniences come with living in a luxury building, right? So the idea was you can wake up at 6 a.m., right? Get down to your gym.
Which is a lovely gym.
Inside the building, right? Get down to the gym, come back upstairs, get changed into work clothes, go get your cup of coffee in the building, right? And then walk to the ferry and still be at work quickly, right? Yeah. So if we're talking about shifting that dynamic to what are we really selling, right? Because when somebody buys a home, they're not just buying the home. Right? They're buying the neighborhood, they're buying the lifestyle.
All right, so what's your opinion of the people that go in a nice suit into a multi-million-dollar home and just dive in the pool?
Listen, it depends what they're trying to do, right? What do you
think they're trying to do, I guess is my question.
Some of that stuff, that like things like that, right? When it's just like, oh, I'm in a beautiful suit, I'm going to jump in this pool, right? And that became huge overkill, frankly, on social media. Where every time there's a pool, it's like,
when 3 people have done it, like, stop. Like, if you've seen it twice, don't do it. Right. Like, I feel like, because then I'm just like, oh my gosh.
But here's the thing, right? Is the truth is the algorithm, right, the viewers that you're trying to reach probably haven't seen the same videos
That's
you've
true.
seen.
Well, that's the other point is
Who's your market?
Who's your market? So like for me, when I started this, I created my own real estate Instagram, right? So
I hate that, by
I
the
know
way.
you do. I've been told. But so I tried now to branch a little bit more of my personal into it and use that one. But to the point is, like, I follow a ton of realtors and a lot of realtors follow me back. So it's like, it is about who's the audience. I feel like a lot of realtors are performing for other realtors, which obviously the point is to grow your business, but you can grow a referral business. I know that you probably get a lot of referrals based on your social media, which is...
I do a ton of agent-to-agent referrals.
Exactly.
Personally, right? My following is a lot of agents.
It's also, you have agents bringing buyers. So it's
Right.
not it's not a total loss.
It's not a total loss.
But
at
even
all.
still,
It's just-
I think what people fail to realize too, to that point, is back to the original point of the algorithm. The way the algorithm shifts on a daily, weekly basis, everything else, right? And again, shout out to BAM for educating their viewership on the way that these algorithms shift. Is that algorithm shifts so your followers aren't even necessarily seeing your videos, right? Because they're getting fed stuff that they're watching. Right. So it goes by watch time and everything else. Right. So if you look in the insights, and this gets into the weeds, right? You look into the insights and looking at like when people are liking your video, it'll tell you the second that people are liking your video, when you're getting the most likes. Right. And if you're looking at all of that from a business standpoint, right, understand that your followers may not even be actually seeing what you're putting out, but it could be getting fed to, 500 other people.
Yeah.
Right. Who wouldn't have necessarily seen your stuff. So my bigger question for you is 22,000 views is a ton of views, right? The question is how many followers and profile visits, because you can see in your insights how many profile visits you get from videos, right? What were the results on that, right? Because that's the truth is everything we're putting out, we're trying to get business off of, right? And if you're not tracking those types of insights, right, and figuring out where you're performing, right, then you're just doing it for clicks, right? You're just doing it for views, right? The diving into the pool is a great view thing, right? But how much business is that?
Yeah, it's
is
not
that
translating
really
to anything.
So let's give our
generating?
opinions on what is performing the best right now. Like hashtags are dead,
Right.
right? I still use them. I
Yeah.
love them. But hashtags are dead.
Right.
Hashtag dead,
Right.
right? But what is performing well? Like you say you like
Stories.
Stories,
right?
Right.
Because what are stories really doing, right? When we grab our phone, right, and we record a quick story, right, that's authentic, right? That's true insight as to what's happening in that moment.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And the stories are things that are actually getting in front of your followers. So if you look at your follower base
that's
as
true.
your sphere of influence, right? It's an easy, free touch to your sphere of influence, right? To a sphere of influence that you may not necessarily be reaching out to on a regular basis.
Because the algorithm is pushing it.
Because the algorithm is now pushing it because people are going to watch your stories before they actually catch your feed videos, right? So those stories and that insight to your daily, activities and things like that, where you're talking directly to your viewer, right? You do a great job with stories.
I do.
Right?
But I struggle, as you're saying this, I'm thinking to myself, I struggle with the stickiness of my page. So like I do great stories. I post now maybe once every 2 weeks.
But
On your
to
page.
his point,
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It
It
doesn't
almost
matter.
sounds like that's where you should put your bang.
The stories are the way to get directly in front of your follower base, right? And your follower base,
But
if
are
you're doing
those-
it right, your follower base should be a pillar of your business and a pillar of your lead gen, because that should be operated as a part of your sphere of influence.
Yeah.
And the story is the easiest way to get in front of that sphere.
So I love that, because that's one thing I'm actually doing really well. What place does Facebook have in our businesses anymore? Now the demographic of Facebook is older. I think
Right.
It's like 45
Well,
plus.
we talked about a couple episodes ago where the average home buyer, the average first time home buyer is now 40.
Yeah.
Right.
And I have one of the, when I post a story, I have it automatically linked to Facebook
Yeah.
because they're owned by the same thing. And that allows me to not forget about Facebook.
Sure.
But I remember this weekend I posted for the first time, and I don't know how long. I looked at my feed and I was like, oh my God, I'm like totally neglecting this.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess my question is, and then a follow up to that is, where does Facebook play in this? Where is LinkedIn? Because I think LinkedIn is a very interesting play going forward.
I think LinkedIn is a underutilized platform.
Very much so. And YouTube. Rank them.
Depends. I think it's hard to just rank them generally, right? I think that largely depends on again, what is your target demographic? What are you looking to get out of each platform, right?
You also forgot TikTok because
Oh my
that's
God.
huge.
Yeah.
It's
And
yeah.
that's-
All right, it's
I can't, but I'm just
TikTok,
saying.
but TikTok's algorithm too, right? TikTok's
Yeah.
algorithm is based largely. If you look at your viewership on TikTok, it's based largely on like people that may not necessarily even be in your market, right? TikTok is a much wider net that it casts, right? Whereas Instagram, I think, does a very good job at targeting local content. And I may be wrong here, right? So the truth is, I'm far from the guy who studies this stuff.
Right.
So
LinkedIn
YouTube
seems like it's way more professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So YouTube is going to be to build that trust, right? To build the trust with your viewership, to build the trust with your
it's
clients,
longer
right? And
form.
because it's longer
Yeah.
form, right? Episodes like this are going on YouTube, right? And we will inevitably clip this out for short clips on Instagram and things like that. YouTube is that long form to build that trust and that client base where like they're going to continue to watch your stuff, right? And they're going to really get to know you as a professional, right? Instagram is that quick shot into, a glimpse into who you are.
Yeah.
Dopamine.
That dopamine hit, right? Facebook is going to be largely your friends and family and things like that you grew up with from the neighborhood and things like that. LinkedIn, admittedly, I do a bad job with LinkedIn.
Same.
Me too.
But to me, the problem, my problem that I haven't wrapped my head around and figured out how to utilize LinkedIn is it's a very fine line between you can't just post what you post on Instagram and LinkedIn because your audience is different, right? It's a professional based platform, right? So the way that LinkedIn's pushing your stuff out is going to be generated based on what type of people are on LinkedIn, right? And that is a business to business platform.
So
right?
let's say we get 123 Main Street as our new listing,
Yep.
right? I think we put the listing and the stats on LinkedIn.
Yes.
I think we do the longer form video on YouTube.
Yep.
I think we chop it up and do the shorts or a reel on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we do the full listing with like the touch points on the, like the you pull on the heartstrings on Facebook.
That works,
And
right?
then TikTok is more like for the
We do a
kids.
dance.
Yeah,
TikTok
In the lobby.
Figure out
one could
your
argue
dancing.
For Instagram too, TikTok is like this bathtub costs $4 million. Like
Yeah.
I think TikTok's more the like
It's
dopamine.
That follow the shiny object thing, right?
Yeah.
And the thing about YouTube, again, you talk to agents out there and they're crushing the YouTube game, right? I have
it's so
not done it, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't become successful to do anything on YouTube. I've generated business from Instagram and Facebook, but YouTube's SEO is outrageous because Google owns YouTube. So when you Google something, right? If you look closely at it, right? When you Google, agents or houses, whatever it is, right? A lot of the stuff that pops up early is videos, right? Because they're trying to drive traffic to YouTube because they own YouTube.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're not at least trying to utilize YouTube, you're missing an SEO opportunity, which, it's a missed opportunity. So in my opinion, you have to hit them all, and it's a lot and it's overwhelming. But you gotta find a way to hit them all.
And I think what you're talking about and what we just kind of exemplified for the audience is a strategy. We no longer are just you got to take a listing, you take pictures on your cell phone, and
Jesus
you just put
Christ.
something live.
We see you in the bathroom mirror, by the way. Stop doing it.
And
It's like $150, like the cheapest
And
thing.
we're off.
but the disservice that you're doing to your client, if nothing else, like you're selling their most expensive asset that they own. And you're taking pictures with like this, where you're in the freaking mirror and the toilet seat is up and the shower curtain's open. Like,
Also, you're making a fortune. You're making a fortune.
Yeah, what-
And in this market, you're going to sell
Okay,
it.
but here's my question. Like when I list the property, my clients are like, send me the listing. Like what client is selling a $850,000 condo and say, send me the listing and sees their agent in there and not question it? Like if you're going to do it, here's a tip. Give me your phone.
I don't have my
Oh my gosh. Don't do this. This is my photographer told me. Don't do this. Take it from here. Okay. That's it. If you're going to do it, do that. That's your helpful hint from Aunt Erin, because it looks ridiculous when I look down and I get vertigo trying to see what the kitchen looks like. So that's
Good.
it.
That's good. Also, don't do it.
Don't do
and
it.
also don't do it. Photographers are not that expensive. They're not as expensive as you think.
So this is a good segue into what are people doing wrong. Obviously, taking your own listings in 2025 and 2026 is absolutely insane to take your own pictures for
Be
your
really good at what you're good at, right? You're good at selling homes.
Talk more about
You're
that.
not
Right?
Yeah.
Be good at what you're good at. Know know enough and be smart enough to know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right? And
There's a lot of no's in there.
yeah, I know. Another one for you.
you
Know what you don't
know.
Right? And
I see.
we aren't professional photographers, right?
Yeah.
The crossover is rare, right? Maybe somebody went from photography into real estate, but that crossover is rare. Be very good at what you're good at.
Yeah.
You're good at real estate. You're good at selling homes. You're good at negotiating contracts. You don't need to be the person photographing and videoing the home, right?
And also, you're
Hire
going
it
to
out.
make a massive amount.
You're
of
going
money.
to make a significant commission on it.
Like
If done correctly, you're going to make a significant amount of money on it. And I think that, again, back to, we talked about this last episode where my, word was executed. I think agents who take photos on their cell phones should be executed.
That's very
And
harsh.
And be taken out of the business. You have no business being in the business.
Maybe we
I'm
just
sorry.
take their license. Maybe we don't actually take their life. Like, I don't know.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fine. I'll settle for license.
what
very
else are
passionate.
people doing wrong?
I don't know. For me, like the pet peeve just sort of is if I've seen the video 4 or 5 times and I'm seeing an agent doing it, it's kind of like
The copycat.
the copycat. Like I'm just over the copycat. It's like if it's become viral, to your point.
Sure.
But if it has become viral, most people have seen it. And so if you're doing your version, it better be better. It better have a twist. It better have a snort laugh. It better have a mess up or something. Otherwise, don't do it. Like I don't know. I
For
kind of
me-
yeah.
For me, it's politics. Everybody's
yeah.
got a side. It does not belong in your listing videos.
I miss the days where politics were kept to yourself.
Yes, please.
And
Yes.
and you
And for
opinions
someone
and
who
everything else were
hires
kept to themselves.
agents, it's a huge turnoff for a broker. I have no problem with you having a personal account and marching and doing whatever you want to do. I think that's wonderful. I think we need more people like that. But you're isolating your customer base. And there was someone we were talking to, and he felt very strongly. He was like, "Well, no, then I don't want to work with them." And it's like, right, but like, I concur. I actually agree with you. And if you are at a place in your business where you can pick and choose your clients, by all means, have at it. But like, you got it. You don't know who you're isolating by what you say. And yes, there's clear right and wrong. There's a lot of this that we're dealing with right now, as far as different people we work with, different agents we come in contact with. There's a lot. But at the end of the day, you're here to sell someone's house. You got to keep it.
Keep it about business.
You got to keep it about business. You
A
have
lot,
to.
and a large part of our job is, I say this all the time, right? But being the adult in the room, a large part of our job is keeping our clients on task and keeping it about the business. And if you're involving your own views and your own outlook and pushing it on other people, right? You're taking things away from the business. Right. And our
doing the
job,
listing at the
our job is to keep things about the business.
Yeah, I agree. What else? What do you think people are doing wrong? Or did you say one already?
I think that I think the politics is a big thing, and I think overly staged stuff is wrong.
Yes.
Right. I think that we went through a phase on social media where everything was overly staged and everything was professionally done. Right. This show is professionally done. Right. But this is a piece of our business.
Yeah, just so everyone sees, we have like notes,
Yeah.
bullet points, and we hit maybe a third of them.
Yeah, but this is a piece of the business,
Right.
But the truth is, social media, right? It's a glimpse into the life. If you're doing it right, you're coming across to your viewership as somebody that they want to work with, right? Our job, 99% of our job, is finding a way to endear ourselves to other people, right? And social media is an easy, free place to do that.
And I think that it's also important to remember that if you're representing a property, your seller doesn't care if that person. I'm not saying it's the right way to feel, but they want the money.
Right.
So if you take a side, you're eliminating half of the options of money.
Sure.
And that's why you have to stay. At the end of the day, you have an obligation to get that person the highest price and
Sure.
the best buyer possible, regardless of where that person spends their time.
Sure.
So I think at the end of the day, you're doing your client a disservice
Sure.
while you're annoying me,
Why? Which is important.
which is very important.
Right? Which is very important.
Who is doing it? Well, I think we pretty much talked about who is doing it right. Where do you think it's going? Does this get worse? Does it? Do we end up needing full podcast studios in our offices?
But
where?
to
what are
the
we talking-
point is that the people that are doing it great. To my question, they maybe had like a couple videos that hit hard, like whatever. They saw success, and then they put their whole, heart into doing that.
They leaned into that
it. Are they still selling properties? Like, are they still active agents, or are they content creators? Because I feel like, that's the thing, there's these high bars of, you see these people doing these things, but what does their business look like? And so it's like setting up expectations to be X, Y, and Z when you really look and they've done 3 deals last year.
Right.
And that's my thing, where I'm just like, could I do more? Absolutely. I could definitely do more. But it's like, I have this tendency to look at somebody doing it fantastic and being like, I can't do it that great, so I'm just not going to do it at all. And that's a horrible
it's the wrong outlook, right?
I get it.
But I also understand it.
Yeah, so I feel like sometimes I just shut down because I'm like, these people are great. But again, at the same time, like, I'm still doing business. Like, I'm a mom. I'm a
people want to know about that.
This is So right? I feel like I should do more hockey tournaments. That's what I'll do. This is how I spend my life.
Hockey parents have a ton of money.
Yep.
No, we don't, because we spend it all on hockey.
Fair enough. Okay.
Can I tell you, I started like videoing. I love cooking, and anybody that follows me knows.
Oh yeah, you do awesome stuff.
I do that thing is on a shelf. My cell phone on a shelf over my hands making food.
Chef on a shelf, like Elf on a shelf. Done.
I actually have a whole thing coming out.
Okay, sorry, I just killed it.
I love that. I might change the name. But the amount of like open doors that has given me. This is great. Can you send me the recipe? This is awesome. Let me ask you a question. Where'd you get your countertops from? Like, you would be surprised. Oh, why do you need to know about my countertops? Oh, we're renovating our home. Oh, to stay or to leave. Like, you would be surprised how many directions.
Yeah.
So that brings to an excellent point, right? The stories perform because you're touching base with them, right?
Yeah.
And what's that going to lead to? It's going to lead to those questions that are going to lead to conversations. And when we can take it from the social media viewership into the DMs, that's where the money is made, right? Because now you can have that conversation in a DM. And as you build that rapport in those DMs, you can take that conversation offline and take it to an in-person, grab a cup of coffee. I've got a lot of recommendations. I just went through a home renovation. I learned so much. Let's grab a cup of coffee and I'll walk you through what I learned, right? Now that conversation becomes real life, right? And now that real life conversation turns into a bigger rapport, which you then have access to who they know. You don't know who they know, right? Yep. Every person you speak to, every person that you interact with online, right? You're making an impression. You don't know who they know in their life that is going to be looking to sell a home, that they may refer you business. So when you look at it from a wide lens in terms of how do we generate business off of it, right? The goal should always be to head to the DMs and take that conversation offline.
And to your point, I was just in a situation of they were clients. They've turned out to be very, very good friends. But it was his 50th birthday, and I wasn't feeling good that day. And I almost didn't go. Yeah. I was like, I don't want to get everybody sick, blah, blah, blah. Ended up being okay, just having a minor cold. And I went. And I sat next
then everybody got sick.
And everybody got sick.
No,
Thanks a lot.
Fine.
Patient zero.
Everybody. What's the thing? The monkey? The carrier monkey?
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Outbreak.
I sat across the table from this woman who was like, I've seen multiple times at these people's parties. I had no idea what she did for a living. She's massively successful. We struck up a conversation about real estate. She went right to my Instagram, which is interesting because people used to check you and see if you had a website. Now I think they're going to your social media pages.
Yep.
She went right to my Instagram, probably went to LinkedIn, given what I'll keep this between us, but given what I know she does for a living, I'm sure she professionally went to my Instagram, checked me out, saw I had some, reputable reviews and whatnot, and asked me to get involved in her search. Now, it was in New York City. I have someone in New York City that I sent her to. It's a $3.5 million buyer. I'm going to make $15,000 in a referral fee from a conversation.
Right.
And I think that the social media supported it,
right,
frankly, because it was like, it wasn't biased in any direction. Right. It was about the properties. It was about my love for our industry. And like, I think that it can also be a very nice compliment. Well, it doesn't have to be the star of the show. No. It can be a compliment.
There are plenty of agents out there who make a living on their social media.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not the only way to make a living, but it absolutely has to be a pillar in your business, right? It's impossible for it to not be a pillar in your business right now. And I think the other problem with it is, to Erin's point, is social media setting unrealistic expectations, not only for us as agents, but for our buyers.
5 more minutes on this topic.
Right.
Yeah.
And for our buyers and for our sellers, right? It's a place that, for the most part, you're getting a glimpse into only the good side of people's
the
lives.
shiny, polished, part.
Right?
You're
And
not
I think
seeing
that's
the turd.
I think that's why. But to that point, I think that's why it's important to show the turd every once in a while.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we've all been through it. And that's sort of the point, like, when I see an agent who's like shooting in his car, like,
You're much more likely to watch that.
Yeah, because it's like, I've been there, man. I know the struggle. Like, I've cried in my car. Who hasn't? And so that's
something I haven't done.
Really?
No.
God,
Never
get on.
cried
Well,
in your car.
you always just brush it off. Like, you don't.
I have it. Yeah.
I used to wallow for
I have a very.
Now it's down to like a couple hours.
You vastly improved.
So I vastly improved my wallowing.
I have a unique ability to not give a shit.
I'm going to make a t-shirt and I'm going to sell it. And that's how I'm going to make money.
That's fair.
Tom's
That is
t-shirts.
right. Tom's t-shirts. T-shirts.
Tom's t-shirts, chef on a shelf. I mean, maybe I should just go into.
Yeah, you need to be a branding.
I guess I'm in branding now.
I think another thing that drives me crazy is like people that are doing it just to do it. Like that also, in the same conversation where I'm like, you just got to do it. I'm also like, maybe not download the app that puts a color behind your face and you're just like this and then out of nowhere and it shoots a quote across the top.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Like, I'd much rather see you like with your shopping cart picking up groceries than that.
Yeah, a glimpse into the real life of what somebody's doing.
Yes, and I think that is incredible. I'd rather you just not do it.
But I think where it's going, right? We everything online and in our business especially, right, is cyclical, where it goes. We go up and down, right? Yeah. And we went from, it started out where everything was on your phone to everything being massively overproduced to now we're getting back to hit that front recording camera and have a real conversation in your stories, have a real conversation directly to your clients, directly to the camera, and use that platform as a way to reach, our sphere, to reach an audience that we otherwise wouldn't have reached, right? I saw something where somebody put on there, wait, my video doesn't get enough views. I think it was Gary Vee, something like that, where it started, right? My video didn't get enough views, right? And it was like, well, put 500 people in a room, right? 500 people in a room is a lot of people. And your video only got 500 views. You got 500 people in a room that you wouldn't have necessarily had.
Yeah. It's a really good perspective. Yeah. Yep. I love that. I love it. Yeah. I mean, I think it's to your point, it's here to stay. I think it's only going to get harder. I think AI, which is a whole separate conversation, which
AI is going to take away from the actual authenticity, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. But I also think there's like, look at what Lux Media did for me. I had like a panic attack. He took a picture I took like 10 years ago and animated it. I was doing this.
Oh,
Have
I
you
thought
ever seen me do
I
this?
saw that. Okay, that was a little freaky. That's
It
my
was
whole point. Like,
terrifying.
I see AI and I see AI. And that's
Yeah.
my thing. And I guess because I'm old and I'm just kind of like, oh, I'm so over this. But then I see a lot of agents saying, embrace AI. It can do this. And I'm sure there are.
It's a tool in the toolbox.
It's a tool in a toolbox. But when that's all you do, like, yeah. I mean, I'm just I use it sparingly. But I know, again, it's the future. And it is what it is.
You got to find a way to use it.
You got to find a way to use it.
You
Yeah.
got to find a way to utilize.
Next episode.
Yeah, that's going to be a great episode, actually. I'm very excited about that for your guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Dan O'Neill.
All right, everybody, we can wrap up. Thank you again for coming here. Please follow us. Please give us feedback. This is very much a work in progress. We want to add different segments. We want to add different guests. Please, if you want to be on this and you think you could add value to this, by all means, let us know. We're excited for this new platform. So
drop a comment. Let us know what you want to talk about, and wherever you get your podcasts, make sure to follow along. This is gonna be a regular thing.
And put us out there. Send it.
Yeah, send it to somebody you think
Send
could
your friends.
value from this.
We love it. We're changing the industry. Thanks, everybody.